and welcome back to the Pierce Dispatch. We have a really exciting guest and really kind of an exciting way to go about this episode of the podcast. We are coming to you from inside of a C40X command unit built by Frontline. And I'm with my good friend Steve Williamson here. Steve, would you mind introducing yourself for our listeners?
Yeah, Steve Williamson, starting my 24th year with Frontline, and love trucks and technology, but I support the northern half of the U.S., customers and dealers, Pierce dealers, and Canada, of course. I'm kind of one of the moderate tenured employees there. There's a lot of folks there that have been there longer than I have.
That's awesome. Well, can you jump in and tell me a little bit about this unit that we're in right now, who it serves?
First of all, let me tell you, I love the studio here. I love your studio,
This is cool.
Dave. This is really cool to be in the mobile command center here. But this is a truck that we built for Hunterdon County, New Jersey, and what they wanted to do was to replicate their bricks and mortar EOC, have all the capabilities of that, so that when they go out in the field, they'll be able to respond to really any incident that they may have to go to. So it's a C40X4, as you said. It's on the Saber custom chassis. It's got the L9 450 horsepower engine. The body is a custom aluminum body, 35 feet. It's got 4 large slide outs. It's got a mast camera, perimeter camera systems. It's got a galley. It's got 2 workstations up front that can serve as either communications or dispatch for emergency, non-emergency calls. And then it's got a conference room that we're in here. It can seat up to 12 people. There are 2 aid stations here that can run the touchscreen video display and put any content for the team that they need to. It might be mapping, mass camera, really any video inputs that they want to see, they can see up here.
And you mentioned that it's on a Saber chassis.
Yeah.
So can you explain that to me a little bit about the relationship between Pierce and Frontline?
Yeah, so Frontline really is a brand name or a division, if you will, of Pierce. Oshkosh acquired Frontline in 2008. It integrated us into the Pierce family, the Pierce organization. So we're really a Pierce plant. We're in Clearwater, Florida. We've got about 125 team members there and about 100,000 square foot facility. So technology is really a core competency of Frontline. We started building trucks in the 80s and built a lot of the satellite and microwave trucks for the broadcast industry. That industry changed over the years, and we got into the mobile command and the communications segment.
That's great. Can you tell me a little bit more about the types of products that Frontline offers?
Yeah, so we have really 2 types of products. One is a conversion product, which is built on either a Sprinter or a Ford Transit van. So we'll get the shell in, and then we'll convert those into the finished product. The other is a custom modular body, which is just like the truck we're in here. And those range in size from 25 feet up to about 45 feet. They're custom. I mean, we have standard models, of course, but really each truck is customized for each specific customer.
Sure. So you have modular and you have command, or is it how does that break up?
Well, command is a general term, kind of all encompassing this industry, if you will. But the modular body, we built it from scratch. It's a tubular aluminum body design, and we built it from scratch. The conversion is we just convert that van into the finished.
It's like more of like for the fire apparatus side, almost similar to like the commercial product versus the custom product.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. We love to build on Pierce custom chassis, of course, Saber, Velocity, Enforcer, but we'll also build on commercial chassis, Freightliner, International.
What's the benefit of the custom chassis when someone's speccing out a rig like that?
The safety aspects of it. It's the heaviest duty chassis you can get, and oftentimes many customers already have a lot of Pierce chassis in their fleet. So from a service standpoint, it makes sense to have their command unit be a Pierce custom chassis.
Well, how about distribution? Can you talk a little bit about that? So if someone's interested in one of these, do they call you? Who do they contact?
So we use the Pierce dealer network, just like Pierce does. So the dealer really is the first point of contact. But my job really is to go out and meet with customers in the dealer, identify what the mission is, create a set of specifications, and we'll deliver that through the dealer back to the customer.
Awesome. Well, digging in a little more, obviously been doing this for 23 years, you said. So when you say a C40X4, break that down for me. I don't think that's something that's in everyone's vernacular. What does that mean?
Yep. So the C references command. The 40 is the overall length, so 40 foot length, and then the X4 would be the number of slide outs. So this has 4 slide outs, thus C40X4.
Can you talk a little bit about the operational capabilities of a frontline command vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, they're designed to meet the missions of the customer. So we have a variety of different type of response vehicles. This is command and communications. We also build bomb response trucks, EOD trucks. We build hostage negotiation units, rehab, right, for first responders that need a break on the scene. Really, whatever the customer's mission is, we'll build those trucks for it.
That's awesome. When you talk about that mission, how do the communication solutions help them stay connected in those high stress or very remote environments?
Yeah, great question. So there's really three modes of communications, if you will. The first is radios. So UHF, VHF, 800 megahertz radios. Those are all installed throughout the truck and in the cab. Secondly, we have a cellular network. So we use a cellular router, typically either a Degero or a Cradle Point router. And then thirdly, we have a satellite system. So it would either be a Kymeta satellite antenna system or Starlink. And so we're installing Starlink and Kymeta in just about every truck that we're building.
How have those technologies that you're integrating, how have those evolved over the years?
Well, quite a bit. When we first started building trucks, we would use a point-to-point microwave system for transmitting video. So there's a transmitter on top of the mast that's going to shoot back over the trees, its line of sight, to a tower or receive site. So that's evolved to today's cell phone technology, which is really how we're transmitting video now. This truck has a Degero gateway cellular router. It uses 6 SIM cards. So you can have 2 AT&T FirstNet, you can have 2 Verizons, 2 T-Mobiles, plus you combine that with the Kymeta satellite antenna. It gives you 7 sources of transmission to send and retrieve video and data. The satellite systems had to be a fixed large satellite antenna on top of a truck. The truck had to be very stable, and it would shoot to a geostationary satellite which rotates with the Earth. It stays still. And that was the previous way they would transmit satellite. Today, they're using the low Earth orbit satellites, which is used by Starlink and Kymeta. Those circle the Earth instead of being stationary. And so you can actually use it in a mobile application. You can use it on a boat. You can use it driving down the road. But the technology is kind of similar in nature to the way your cell phone operates when you drive down the road. It's connecting with a cell tower and then handing off to the next one. Well, the satellite is connecting to a satellite going overhead and then connecting to the next one. So they've really changed over the years, and they're still changing.
So what is the importance of real-time data and communication on scene, and what does this unit offer to meet those important needs?
Right. So I'll give you 2 examples. One example would be, say you were responding to a school threat, right? The truck is set up there. It's got a 42-foot mass camera. So that camera would be able to see all the entrances and exits of the school. So they could make real-time decisions to the responders around the school about what's going on. Second example would be a fire, like a forest fire. So first responders might have a drone that they're operating, so they could raise the drone, see where the fire might be spreading, where they might be containing it, and communicate that to the firefighters, responders on the ground to make sure they went to the right area and were as efficient as possible. So having that real-time data, having those tools on the truck is really critical to completing the mission. Like in the flooding in North Carolina, all the cell towers were down, right? So they used the satellite to stay connected. They could have a Wi-Fi bubble around the truck that people, the community could come in and access. They'd have a clean and a dirty stream. The clean would be for the first responders back to their offices, and then the other stream would be for community people to come in and call their loved ones. So it's important for a lot of reasons.
So what kind of trends are you still seeing now or starting to see now around the industry over the years that you've been doing this?
Yeah, a couple things. Versatility. So you never know what you're going to respond to. It could be an active shooter. It could be a fire. It could be a weather event, tornado, hurricane, flooding. It could be a planned event. But the vehicles really need to have that versatility. So that's really important. Secondly, we're hearing from law enforcement that there's a lot more mental health issues on the street today that have to be dealt with. So there's a need for these smaller units to come to the scene, get the individual into a non-threatening area, calm them down, see what's going on, and try and defuse the situation. So those are 2 things that we're seeing today.
That's really interesting. We talked a little bit about the dealer network, and obviously having the same dealer network at Pierce, but what's the order process like? I imagine on our end of it, on the Pierce side, probably the most similar to like a rescue from a customization standpoint. The amount of technology in this has got to change the order process somewhat.
Well, it does. There's a lot of technology that goes in our trucks, and again, we work with the dealer, with the customer. We develop a very detailed specification. They place the order. Then they'll come in for a pre-construction meeting. So we'll review every line of that proposal, of that specification, and make sure that technology is exactly as it's needed for that customer. And then they'll come in again when the vehicle is complete for inspection and quite a bit of training. We spend a couple of days of training with each customer.
What about service and maintenance of them? Like, how do you maintain an apparatus?
So that's the great thing about having the Pierce dealer network is there's over 100 service facilities throughout the U.S. And the first point of contact is the dealer, but we have a dedicated service team that supports the customers through the dealers. And if needed, we'll go to the dealer and perform any necessary service.
One of the things that comes to mind as well in this, I know again on the fire apparatus side, oftentimes folks will have that unit in service for decades, whether it's frontline or reserve. How do you keep the technology updated with an apparatus that's in service?
So great question. So one of the unique things that we put into our builds is surface mount raceways on the interior of the truck. So these line all the rooms and slide outs of the trucks. They all lead back to the equipment rack. So there's a snap-off cover. All the communications wiring are in those raceways. It's very accessible. And so when you go to do a technology refresh 5, 6, 7 years down the road, it's very easy to do it in a frontline truck.
All right, so do you have any standout frontline deliveries you want to share? I mean, obviously each of these is really cool, but tell me about one that really stood out.
Well, probably a couple. More than one delivery. We've got a good customer, the FBI, who we've built probably 100 vehicles for. And one of the big projects was they wanted a quick response unit in each of their bureaus. That's 70 bureaus throughout the United States. So we teamed with them on a design, built 70 units and delivered them to each of the bureaus throughout the U.S. So it's pretty gratifying to know that we're working with law enforcement and all the agencies to support them and the communities. Another is South Carolina State Fire. So we built a truck very similar to this unit last year. We took it out on the road and did demos and took it to shows. The very first show it went to was a show in South Carolina. It was a stock unit. It was for sale. They bought the truck on the spot at the show.
Right, understood. I heard they signed the PO in the unit.
Yeah, at the show.
That's cool.
So, and then we delivered the truck late last year. A couple of weeks ago, they reached out to us and let us know that truck had been on the road every day for the last 30 days. Helping them with the South Carolina fires and supporting those efforts. So, very gratifying to know that it's helping them.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what kind of advice would you have to anybody who's considering procurement of a frontline apparatus or wanting to learn more?
Dan, one of the hardest parts of my job is conveying how we build these trucks, the quality that goes into them, the detail, the safety aspects. So I would say if you get a chance, come visit us at our plant in Clearwater. Take a day out of your schedule if you can. Come see how the trucks are fabricated, painted, assembled, wired. We build our own wire assemblies. It's a great process to see and get in other trucks and get a feel for the size and nature and design requirements that you have.
Yeah. Well, thanks a ton, Steve. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to educate me and certainly the Pierce Dispatch listeners about Frontline Communications. It's been really fun to learn about that. So thanks a ton.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
Thanks.